Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed participants, mentors, and distinguished guests, my name is Palash Shah, the president of the Youth Code Foundation. On behalf of the entire Youth Code Foundation team, I extend a warm welcome to all attending the YouthCodeX welcome ceremony. Today marks the beginning of an extraordinary journey as we come together to celebrate the spirit of innovation, creativity, and coding excellence. At YouthCodeX, brought to you by the Youth Code Foundation, we firmly believe in the power of young minds. Our mission at Youth Code Foundation is to empower youth across the globe by providing free online classes. Today, we take a step further to amplify their potential through this international hackathon. Remember, this event is more than just a mere competition. It's an opportunity for all of us to make a difference. From high school students to university graduates and seasoned professionals, we have a diverse and talented pool of participants ready to create and inspire. Throughout YouthCodeX, we encourage you to embrace collaboration and open-mindedness. This hackathon is not about individual achievements. It's about coming together, learning from one another, and leveraging our collective expertise to drive positive change. As we embark on this journey, let us remember that innovation knows no boundaries. Today, we are united as a global community of coders, transcending geographical limitations to connect and create together. I want to extend our sincere gratitude to our mentors, sponsors, and partners who have generously supported this event. Your guidance and encouragement will undoubtedly shape the experiences of our participants and inspire them to reach new heights. Now, to all the young coders participating, believe in your abilities, take risks, and most importantly, enjoy every moment of this adventure. The projects you will create have the potential to impact the world in profound ways. As we dive into YouthCodeX, let us embrace the challenges, celebrate our accomplishments, and forge friendships that will last a lifetime. Together, we can make YouthCodeX a celebration of innovation and a testament to the power of youthful aspirations. Thank you all for joining us on this thrilling journey. Let's make YouthCodeX an unforgettable experience, one that sparks the flames of creativity and sets our coding community alight. Now, let's move on to our first guest speaker, whom I am excited to introduce. Kunal Khadilkar is an extraordinary young innovator, making waves in the tech world. Nominated as one of the Young Innovators of India by the Prime Minister's Office, Kunal represented India at the Singapore India Hackathon 2018, securing the third place prize and receiving accolades from the Indian Prime Minister himself, Mr. Narendra Modi, and other esteemed leaders. Kunal's remarkable achievements continued with an invitation to Harvard's AI for Social Impact Workshop 2020, where he was recognized as a rising star of social impact by Harvard. Today, Kunal joins us as a guest speaker to share invaluable insights on hackathon participation and how you can make your projects to new heights. Let's give a warm welcome to Kunal as he takes the stage to inspire and guide us on this exhilarating journey at YouthCodeX. Unfortunately, he couldn't be with us today, or right now, but he was kind enough to share us a video and participate in the later 8:30 p.m. EST Q&A session. One second. There we go.
Hi everyone, my name is Kunal Khadilkar and I'm excited to be a part of this Youth Code Foundation's hackathon. I'm going to give a talk on how to make the most out of your hackathons and how to use AI to make an impact in society. A little bit about me. I completed my undergrad degree in computer engineering from Pune University and I pursued a master's in computational data science from Carnegie Mellon. Over the past few years of my academic career, I got a chance to be a part of many AI for social impact projects, which I'll talk about in the coming slides. Right now, I'm working as a senior data scientist at Adobe on their flagship product, Photoshop. So some of my past experience, I have published a few research papers in the field of AI for social impact at AAAI, IJCAI, and other conferences and journals. Some of my work has been also featured in BBC, Daily Mail. I also got a chance to give 2 TED Talks, which are available on YouTube and on the TED website, in case you want to know more about some of these projects. I also worked with governments of different countries and was awarded as a Young Innovator of India by Prime Minister Narendra Modi for contributing in different AI for social good solutions. Let me start by talking about some of my past experiences and how that has helped me in and is continuing to help me in some of my new projects which I'm working on. In my undergrad, I took part in the Smart India Hackathon, which is considered as one of the world's biggest digital movement, with millions of Indian engineering students participating in it. We developed for this particular hackathon, we worked under the mentorship of Ministry of Water Resources, Government of India. Basically, they had given the problem statement to us, and we developed a novel dashboard to understand water requirements for crops, predict water utilization in a geographically diverse country in India, because like you know, some parts of India has drought while other parts of India flood during monsoon. So there's very wide climate disparity as well in different states in India. So to monitor all of that at a higher or global level from administrative perspective, we developed this particular dashboard, and we were declared winners of the world's largest hackathon, and we could get a chance to interact with ministry officials and gave them some of our resources of what we developed for future deployment steps, with the hope that we can actually deploy them. After the Smart India Hackathon, I was selected as one of the Young Innovators of India by the Government of India, and as part of Indian delegate, we participated in the Singapore India Hackathon, where we ideated a solution to optimize parking spots, especially in underdeveloped and developing countries like India. And we published a patent for our algorithm helping India's research community, and we further got a 3rd prize and were felicitated by, as you can see, the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, as well as the Singapore Education Minister. So these were some of the experiences which I did during my undergrad. As a master's student, I wanted, as my passion was in AI for social good and doing many hackathons, I wanted to continue the same after coming to Carnegie Mellon. I worked on a project in which we proposed a Twitter-based solution to suggest constructive petitions in response to angry tweets. So basically, people just went out on Twitter about their problems, and no one replies to them. So we thought might as well try to channel this anger into something constructive, and proposed a recommendation algorithm which we later released as a website during the pandemic to suggest petitions to these angry people so that they can channel their anger in a much more constructive way, and hopefully that will solve some of their issues. I was selected as a Rising Star of Social Impact at Harvard University and got the award for the best poster and talk. And we further, like I mentioned, deployed it for users to actually search on different topics and get relevant petitions and contribute to the society. So these were some of my past experiences, and there are a few more projects which you can ping me later, and I'll be more than happy to talk about them. But as from the perspective of a hackathon, I want to talk about some of the most common myths which high school students and undergrad students have about hackathons, because I would say most of these hackathons are aimed towards a social initiative, that the underlying theme for most of the hackathons which you will participate in or have participated would be AI for social good, or using data science for social problems for different government ministries and stuff like that. So I want to start debunking some myths. So one of the most common concept which people have in mind is that AI for social impact means creating an end-to-end product helping millions of users, and that this is definitely not correct. in the sense, a solution that is helping even a few people is quite impactful. You don't need to always think about building something which will have a massive impact. Even if 100 people are benefited by your technology, it still means that you are doing something for the society, and these 100 people, you are trying to change their lives for the better. So, and it doesn't even have to be a solution always. Just even creating social awareness, starting discussions on different topics which which you see or which you can detect from data. For example, we did a project in which we quantified gender bias and colorism in Bollywood and Hollywood industry by looking at different dialogues, and that led to a worldwide press and actual actors talking about our project and mentioning that how they will be more responsible when taking future films to ensure that they don't propagate racial bias or gender bias in their movies. So it doesn't need to be a full-fledged solution. It can just be using data to create awareness, encouraging positive thinking, and that also becomes a part of AI for social impact. Another myth which many students have is that to pursue AI for social impact, we always need to come up with novel algorithms or applications. And this is not at all necessary. I don't think I have, there very rare cases in which we created a novel novel ML model or algorithm, but for most of the projects, it's just about an idea, and using existing tools and technologies on this new idea which you have or a new topic which you have can be quite impactful. So we used ML algorithms and use them on Bollywood dialogues. So you can see how two different topics come together to create a data science for social good project. So this is another myth which many people have, which is not at all true, because even using existing tools but on newer or novel problems is a very interesting area which you can think about. And this is something which has been a very good learning lesson for me, as I've taken part in many different hackathons, that to do AI for social good or to do any hackathon, you need extraordinary technical skills, and this is the biggest myth. And because in reality, as I will show you in some of the next slides as well, I personally believe that non-technical skills are equally important, if not more, honestly, when getting started in this field as a student. And so even if you are an amazing coder or amazing researcher, if you don't practice your non-technical skills, you're going to face challenges when trying to talk about your project or trying to win a hackathon, for example. So I want to focus this particular talk on some of these non-technical skills which you should be aware about, and hopefully try to use in some of your upcoming projects and hackathons, so that and that would hopefully help you in winning those as well. First is creativity, and by creativity you might be wondering, what do you mean by that? So let me talk from a typical high school or college environment, where I believe most of you are high school students or undergrad students or master students, and I would say for 99% of the cases, this is the same cycle which goes on for any project or for any assignment. Read the assignment, complete the assignment, submit the assignment. It's that simple. So what are the questions have been asked, you answer them, and that's basically it, right? And so there's very limited creativity in which you can do your answers, because most of the answers are going to be well defined, and it's not up to imagination what the answer can be. But that's where I would say we need to start thinking about how we can think creatively after the assignment is submitted, because until then we have very limited creativity or many restrictions. But after that is something which you need to start thinking about as you start doing these projects or start participating in different hackathons, because that's where that part is going to be the deciding factor between you winning a hackathon or losing a hackathon, or getting your model getting your project deployed for society, or it just being a research paper and not having any deployment benefits. So consider a very simple example based on, one of the projects which you might have done in your undergrad or in your high school. That example, you need to build an Android app, for example, to analyze water usage in households. So it seems pretty simple, very well defined. It's all about just creating a 2-3 UIs of your Android app, having a data backend, and that's basically it, right? And when it's a team project, you work in team, you write great code, which I'm pretty sure many of you, if not all, are amazing coders. You submit the assignment and you get full marks, and that's the scope of the assignment. But these are some of the questions which you need to start at least thinking about. You don't need to implement them all, but at least having them in your project summary, or having a discussion about that is my app accessible to all people? Can it be used by blind or deaf people, or is it only restricted to people who can read legibly? And if I want to deploy this app and scale it, how much will it cost the users? How much would the cloud cost be if I need to scale it for all over US or all over India, whatever? Can it be used by people not speaking English? And because in US many people speak Spanish, or consider India, in which there are hundreds of different languages spoken. Are we restricting our user base to only those who can speak English? How can we extend it to other languages? What APIs would you use, or what are the other considerations that you would need to do? And does the app require high-end devices? There's no point if this app only works on the latest iPhones or the latest Samsung Notes. It should work on low-end devices as well, so that you have a wide consumer base. Does this app require continuous internet connection, or will it work offline? Especially considering developing countries, internet connection is not strong everywhere. It might be very weak, or there might be no internet connection even in some rural places. So will it work there? What are the different app dependencies which you need? Would you need any other application, any other permissions? What resources would you need to scale it further? So these are the questions which generally we don't answer when we submit a college assignment, but these are the questions you get judged on when doing any hackathon, because this is what people want you to be aware about, or want you to start thinking about when you're doing any particular hackathon. That have you thought about scale? In hackathon, you're not supposed to build a scalable product which will which millions of people can use at once. For the reason it is a hackathon, that you need to just show proof of concept. But at least if you have studied or have some kind of knowledge, or at least make a note of these points, that okay, this is a small proof of concept, but this is how we are going to scale it to thousands of users. It shows that you have thought about the entire thought process and know what are the restrictions, what are the dependencies, and how you can make it better in case you were to deploy it. So one of the takeaways which I have on this topic is that for each assignment or hackathon project which you pursue henceforth, try to think about these questions. Like I mentioned, you don't need to code anything for those. You just need to start thinking about those, that okay, if I need to, this is currently running on my local laptop, if I need to do it on one of the cloud providers, what would it cost me on average? Can I get some pricing estimates, just to understand and get introduced to some of these new techniques which are used in scaling your product? And make sure to include the answers to these questions in your assignment submissions, and have a discussion with your professor judges regarding possible social impact of the project. Because most of the times what I realize is that once you start discussing it, many people get intrigued by it, many people get interested in it, and it might lead to something further. You might get funding for it from university, or you might get some grant to actually deploy your product, which had just been an assignment so far. Moving ahead, this is, I would say, one of the most important learnings which I have had over different experiences across multiple years. The difference between a normal traditional school assignment and a hackathon project. So in a high school or college environment, you're presenting your app and project, and the audience is all computer science professors, right? There's absolutely no diverse audience there, because you are judged by your professors, and all of them have a strong academic foundation and academic education in computer science, data science, AI, and all those things. Moving into a traditional hackathon project, this is going to be your audience from, if as you start participating in more hackathons, you realize the diverse audience in terms of the judges which you will face and who you need to explain your project to. You'll have a humanities professor, you might have a state senator, you might have an industry leader, you might have some NGO who are evaluating your project, because each one of them are interested from a different angle completely. And so presenting your app in such a way that each one of these people can understand what you're talking about is utmost important, and that is, I would say, one of the top deciding factors between all the different teams, right? And I want to give a very simple example with that. Consider a very simple example. This project uses BERT, a bidirectional encoder representations from transformers, which employs the famous attention mechanism to understand left and right context. We use this state-of-the-art model to uncover colorism and gender bias by employing BERT's closed test. For AI judges, or for judges who have a data science background, they'll because they know that particular concept, they'll at least be able to understand what I'm saying. If I explain this to a ministry official, or let's say a literature judge, or let's say humanities professor, they would be completely bored, because they wouldn't know what is BERT, they wouldn't know what is attention, they wouldn't know what I mean by left and right context, they wouldn't know what I mean by closed test. And there itself, the attention is lost by those judges. Other way around, if I say we use a popular AI model's fill in the blank ability to uncover colorism in movie dialogues. This model is lightweight and can be integrated in standalone apps and interactive browsers or websites. This particular phrase is much more easily understandable by all the different, diverse judges. A ministry official can understand this. So yeah, this is a simple example, and ensure that when you present your hackathon project, for this hackathon or for any field, what your audience is, who your judges are, would all the judges understand your presentation? If not, what changes can you make to ensure that all of them are interested and none of them get bored? Because once few of your judges get bored, it's very difficult to get their interest back again, because they would have lost complete motivation to read about a project because you're not able to explain it correctly, right? So presenting your ideas and convincing its applicability, another crucial point, to a diverse crowd is a lot more difficult than presenting in a school or college setting. And like I mentioned, there exists a very fine line between the audience remaining interested and becoming bored, and you need to have sufficient practice to communicate effectively and build impactful presentation decks. And this will come only after practice, it won't come overnight. So start preparing for that, and most importantly, give equal importance to it, similar to how you give importance to your technical project or the technical aspect of the hackathon. Like I mentioned, a myth is that technical skills are 80% and presentation skills are 20%. If I do a great proof of concept using some of the most amazing algorithms, I'll definitely win the hackathon. Majority of the times that doesn't work, because like I mentioned, you might be a great coder, but you need to sell your product as well to a vast and diverse audience, and that's only possible if you practice your presentation skills, and if you practice how you're going to talk to these judges, and how you're going to ensure that all of them understand what you have built. So this is something which many students and even I took for granted in the early years when I started in this hackathon journey, but soon realized that sometimes it's even okay to sacrifice on some of the technical, features, but ensuring that your presentation is top notch is very crucial for any hackathon. And finally, participation and networking. Uh, I don't think I need to explain much on this because already you are keep on doing a life cycle which an assignment won't give you. Like I mentioned, talking about presentation skills, talking about creativity are some of the things which a hackathon or traditional school assignment or college assignment will not. So continue doing that because that's going to be super critical as you uh, grow your journey and as you get more educated in this particular field. And in my experience, I'm still using some of the concepts which I learned in hackathons in my day-to-day technical job as well, so they definitely don't go to waste. They are useful in many different ways, with more than what we can realize. And the final tip which I would like to give you as you embark on this journey is that apply, participate, and speak up. Register for different, not just hackathons, but seminars, conferences, workshops, and just start listening to some of the budding researchers in your field. Volunteer to participate and organize such events as well, because that will also give you exposure to a different side of the spectrum regarding how to manage a hackathon, how to ensure that all your stakeholders are aligned, and all those things. And most importantly, start conversing with people in the field, ask them for help, mentorship, and prospective opportunities. And in my experience, having a great mentor is much important than having 10 or 100 different ideas. And all my mentors so far have come through different hackathons which I have either participated in or volunteered to be a judge in, and that has paid me back immensely because I get to know them, I get to learn from the experience, and then further we have done many collaborative research projects together working with these. So uh, this is my final hope that this hackathon is a great success and you are able to do many creative things as part of this particular Youth Code Foundation hackathon. And with that, I would like to end and say thank you for giving me this opportunity. And for a reason, I wanted to focus on the non-technical side of things because, like I mentioned, this side is something which all of us neglect, but is usually the deciding factor between us winning the hackathon or not. So, few things to keep in mind. Feel free to message me on LinkedIn or send me an email in case you want to know more about my work. But
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Harv Samal. Thank you to Kunal for that very helpful presentation. And we will be right back shortly where I will be discussing project walkthrough, the prompts, and the whole schedule of the hackathon. All right. Hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Arif Samal. I'm the Vice President of the Youth Code Foundation. Right now, let's discuss the project walkthrough. So this will go over the submission process, your rubric, how you're going to submit your project, the schedule, and the prompts. So for the schedule, we start coding at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll finish at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. After that, we'll have some guest speakers. During the time for coding, every 2 hours for 30 minutes, we'll have a Q&A session in the Discord voice channel where you'll join the wait room, and then one of us will let you into the actual Q&A session room to ask your question. If you have any questions outside of those Q&A sessions, you can ask them in the chat like you've been doing for the past few weeks. After that, after the project ends, or after the time ends, you'll submit your project at 5 p.m. on the dev post. Make sure that you add a video. If you don't add a video with your project will be disqualified. For your video, make sure that you go over all the important stuffs about your project, including the technologies that you used and your UI. Make sure that everything is clean and easy to understand. We'll have guest speakers from 5 to 9 for 30 minutes. They'll each have their own 30-minute session where they'll talk about a certain topic, and then you can ask questions in the Zoom meeting. For the prompts, we have our 5 pillars of growth, and then each pillar has its own 2 prompts. If you don't like any of the prompts, then you're free to make your own as long as it fits under one of the 2 pillars. And then we also have our 2 sponsored events, the Medlet Challenge and the VerbWire Challenge, which have their own prompts and their own requirements. All of those will be put in the description. They can also be found more in depth in the video, which is linked in the pinned message in the chat. That should be all. We'll come back at around 9 or just before to start the hackathon.
Hi everybody, my name is Nirek Shah and I'm one of the vice presidents at YCF. It is currently 9 a.m. and the coding period has now begun. If you have any questions, we are offering our first Q&A session from now up until 9:30. Good luck to everyone competing and hope for all the best.